Hello viewers and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be an unboxing and we're going to be looking at smart lighting. Now, I've been thinking about smart lighting for a little while now. The products seem to be quite expensive, which has put me off a little bit, but the market is maturing and there are more options out there, so it seemed like a good time to get something and just have a little go with it, which is what's happening today. There's going to be three parts to this video. First of all, I'll explain a little bit about smart lighting, just in case you don't know. Secondly, I'll be talking about the three products that made it onto my smart lighting shortlist. And thirdly, I'll be revealing which one I finally purchased, and we'll be unboxing it and plugging it in and giving it a little go. So for those who don't know, smart lighting is, as it sounds, it's a lighting that is smarter than your average light bulb, as Yogi would say. Arguably, it is the biggest change since Thomas Edison first woke up one morning and thought, shall I go for a walk or shall I invent something? So what it is that it's like a normal light bulb, except that it has extra electronics in it that will talk to your computer network so that you can use normally an app to turn the light on and off. And the way it works is that you have a hub that will plug into your network, usually with an Ethernet cable. That hub will then communicate with the light bulb. It's not really rocket science. The thing you have to do is to leave the light switch in the on position all of the time, because there needs to be power to the bulb even when it's off, so that it can be told to switch on, if that makes sense. So, like all smart home products, it can be used for all sorts of things. One of the things that really interests me is home security. So you can turn lights on if you're out and you realise you're going to get home after it gets dark. You can set up a schedule so that your lights will come on at a particular time of day. You can even set up using motion sensors so the lights will come on as you walk into a room and then go off again a little while after you've left the room. Useful things like that. But if you're a total nerd, then you can get light bulbs that are multicoloured, which means that you could get the lights to go pink, or blue or any other colour. You can even set up using if this then that technology. So say your football team scores a goal, you could get the lights to flash your team's colour. That would be incredibly nerdy. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, but it's quite cool. Now there are, of course, links in with other technology, and if you have Alexa, Google Home, Apple Siri, then you can, with some products, get the lights to switch on simply by saying, let there be light, or whatever command you decide to issue. I am not massively sure about that, but that does seem to be the way the wind is blowing, so hey, who am I to argue? Now in today's video, I will be unboxing one of the products out there, but of course, like everybody, I did some research to decide which smart lighting product I was going to go for. And I decided I came up with a short list actually of 3 items. So let's talk about those 3 items and the pros and cons of those. Now first up is Philips Hue. Now this is probably the most well-known of the smart lighting products, and it's been around for a little while now. It has the wide range of different light bulbs available. You've got the normal white, which will just go white. You've got what they call ambient white, which then will go from a warm right through to a cold light, and both of those products will dim. The third option is the multicoloured light bulbs I alluded to earlier on, which can go one of, I think it's 16 million colours or something like that. That also dims, but you can do all sorts of weird lighting effects should that float your boat. It also has a hub and has other products like motion sensors, LED strip lights, all sorts of different things that you can get for that. The app is supposedly very good, quite a mature piece of software. Firmware also in the light bulbs, it seems to be quite steady. So it's a really good one. It is probably the gold standard in smart lighting products at the moment. Now another product that I considered on my shortlist was the IKEA. Now the IKEA is a really cheap product actually. It's really entry level, will interest a lot of people I think. And don't worry, you don't have to assemble the light bulbs when you get them home. even though it's IKEA. It doesn't come with a horrible little adjustable Allen key, and you've got to sit there and put it. Yeah, anyway, I've made my point. The IKEA light bulbs are, as I've said, cheap, but they are basic. They just do white. You can get ambient colours, but a choice of 3 in the current version of the software. But this is a relatively new product, so things will be improving with it. It will be getting better over time, so it's well worth looking at. The bulbs are incredibly cheap, so if you've got a lot of bulbs in your house, that is going to be a consideration. Philips Hue bulbs are way more expensive, so you could spend a small fortune kitting out your house if that's what you want to do. So it's well worth considering, but I have read some slightly dodgy things about the IKEA community software, so but it is early days, so it's got some way to go and will hopefully improve over time. Definitely worth thinking about. Like the Philips Hue, this particular product uses a hub which is half the price of the Philips hub, and of course has an app. I'm going to sneeze, wait a minute. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. I'm not going to sneeze, you're all right. The third option that I considered is LIFX. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know. I'll get slated in the comments when I say things wrong on this channel. I get booted into next week. But anyway, however you pronounce it, this is slightly different. It doesn't have a hub that you plug into your network. Instead, all of the technology is in the bulbs, and the bulb itself will be as part of your Wi-Fi network. Now, I think there are probably good and bad things about that. One of the good things is it's less complicated, obviously. You haven't got a hub for it to speak to. The bad thing is that if you've got a lot of light bulbs on your Wi-Fi network, it's going to make your Wi-Fi network a good deal more complicated. And that, let me tell you, is not a good thing. The other thing, of course, with this is perhaps the price. Because it's got a lot of technology, one light bulb is going to cost you a fortune. Just as a rough guess, one of the multicoloured light bulbs you're looking at 60 quid, which is a horrendous amount of money for a light bulb, let's be honest about this. So, if you might have guessed now which one of these 3 products I bought, because it's time for the reveal. What was that? Anyway, I was thinking at one stage of going for the IKEA, but I decided against it. It's got some slightly dodgy reviews, but it's early days. I'm filming this in December 2017. If you're watching this sometime after that, definitely worth still checking that out. Prices are great. They're bound to introduce more products. They've said that they're going to be investing heavily in the architecture. So if the firmware has improved and it's working better, definitely worth considering. But at this particular moment in time, not for me. The LIFX bulbs, way too expensive, so I decided not to go for those either. So what was I left with? Yeah, it's the old favourite, the Philips Hue. Now, on the downside, it is quite expensive. If I wanted to get a lot of bulbs, it was going to empty my bank account. But I want to start off fairly small. I'm looking not for the colour side of things. I'm really mainly for security purposes I want to use it, and maybe for ambient lighting as well. So I wanted to start off small, start off with something that I knew was going to work, or had the best chance of working, and certainly this seemed to tick all of those boxes. So what we're going to do today is have a look at my very first Philips Hue lighting product. We'll have a look at the hub, we'll unbox it, we'll have a look at a B22, which is a bayonet bulb. It's an ambient light bulb which we'll put into place, and then we're going to try it all out and see how it works. We might also, if I don't mind looking like a complete knob, we will perhaps try out some voice control with Siri, as I've got an Apple-based system here. But as I've said, these systems, all these main systems, will work with Alexa and Google Home as well. So that's good. Right, so let's get unboxing. Right then, viewers, it is time to unbox my chosen smart lighting solution. And we have here on the left the Philips Hue bridge. So this is the item that will be plugging into my router and will then communicate with the bulbs in my setup. It can talk to up to 50 bulbs, apparently. I have one. So we're starting small. This isn't going to be the Blackpool illuminations by the time I finish with it. We have here the single bulb. This bulb is a white ambience bulb, and it's a proper Philips bulb to go with this particular setup. And this means it can go from warm to cool white and also dim. So, but before we get to that, let's unbox the main event, which is the bridge. Now this is version 2 of the bridge. So let's now, with the help of some trusty scissors, break the seals on this particular unit. There we go. And we will open it up. Let's see what we've got inside. Okay, so let's take that off there. Wow, it's a tiny little box. I was actually expecting this to be bigger. This isn't much larger than a deck of cards, really. So that's interesting. So we'll take that off there. Now on the back here, underneath my thumb, and I'm hiding it because I've no idea if the number is okay to distribute or whether you should keep it secret, just in case. I'm going to cover it with my thumb. That there is the HomeKit logo for Apple devices, and to add this as a HomeKit item, I would simply go to Add Accessory and then scan that number, and then it will just be added as a HomeKit device. Now, for reasons that we will possibly come to in this video, if not in a future one, I'm not perhaps going to worry too much about HomeKit because I don't have any other smart devices. I'm just going to have one smart light, and that is it. I know, it's pathetic. Right, so that's the hub, the Philips bridge, and let's just unravel the box and see what else we've got in here. We have a little instruction booklet, which we'll take a look at in a moment, and another booklet. And next, in the lucky dip, we have the power cable. This is a UK power lead. Obviously, wherever you are in the world, you will have an appropriate one. And it's one of these ones that just unclips anyway, so it's going to be appropriate for wherever you are in the world. And then we have a not a very good looking Ethernet cable. I can't believe, oh it is, it's Cat5e Ethernet cable. It looks so weedy that I thought this was going to be just not very good, but it does appear to be a certified Cat5e cable, so that's fine. That's everything that you get in the box. So let's put this pieces back in the box. Let's stick that on one side, let's stick that on one side. We'll be tidy as we go. Let's just have a quick look at the paraphernalia that you get. Let's have a look at this big one here. Now what does this do? Is this going to be some kind of weird warranty thing that nobody ever looks at and it's in 500 different angles? Yes, it is. Yeah, does anybody ever look at this stuff? Right, that's going straight back in the box. It's probably some kind of weird warranty guarantee thing that we're not going to worry about. So let's stuff that back in there. And here, this must be the instructions. So it says here, congratulations on stepping into the world of Hugh. Okay, who's Hugh? Oh yeah, sorry, Hugh, I'm with you. Power your light source and turn on your wall light switches. Plug in the Hue bridge and connect to your Wi-Fi router. Download the Hue app and follow the instructions. And that's it. The rest of it is in various languages. So that sounds straightforward. So it says on here, power your light sources and turn on your wall light switches. Power your lights. So you need to do that first. Put the bulb in. In that case, I've got a good idea. Let's unbox the bulb. So we'll put the hub on one side for a moment and we'll have a look at the bulb. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a white ambience bulb. They also do just a straight white bulb, which is slightly cheaper, and they do a full colour RGB bulb, which is a lot more expensive. I've just gone for the white light because I'm putting this in my dining room. Another reason why I've just gone for a single light at this stage, you might be thinking they do some starter kits, so you can buy the hub together with one or two bulbs. Now, They do GU10 bulbs in a starter kit, and I have got some GU10 lights, but because you have to leave the light switch in the on position all the time, you clearly need to make sure that you're replacing every bulb in the area that you want to use with the smart lighting. Otherwise, you're just going to be leaving normal lights switched on all the time, which you're not going to want to do. So I have GU10s, and where I have GU10s, there are quite a few bulbs. So I need to, and also there's some areas where I want to put smart lighting in, but they don't have GU10s, they have MR11s, so I'll need to get those changed. So the reason I went for this one is this is an old bayonet bulb. It's a B22 bayonet, very, very common type of light fitting. And in my dining room, there is a single light fitting, just the one bulb for the entire room. Whereas every other room in my house has several bulbs. I mean, there's 6 in the lounge. There's, my goodness, how many? There must be about a dozen in the kitchen at least. Here in my office, there's 4. So there's a number of different bulbs in each room. So this made sense if I just go for one single bulb, and it's going to be a bit cheaper to start with. So here's the bulb. We open up the case, and we have it's one of these again. Yeah, I can see I'm going to get lots of these warranty. Yeah, okay, thanks for that. And the only other thing we've got in here is the bulb, and that is it. We have nothing else. It's quite weighty, I suppose. I mean, certainly compared to a normal bulb, but then you would expect that because of the electronics that's inside here. So it's not ridiculously heavy, but compared to a normal bulb, it is probably twice as heavy. That's not very scientific, I'll grant you, but there we go. So, also size-wise, probably quite large. But anyway, the next thing to do is to take this bulb, as it said in the instructions, as step 1. Let's just plonk that down there for a moment. Step 1, power your light source and turn on your wall light switches. So clearly that is the next thing to do. So let's go do that. Now, the first thing I wanted to do, you'll see, viewers, that it is really dark. This is my dining room. It's very, very dark. There's a reason why. I'm going to turn, you probably can't even see it, turn the light switch on, and you'll see that it's now not all that much lighter. And the reason is that I have in the light fitting at the moment, I've got an old-fashioned LED bulb. So it's still LED, but it's one of these ones do you remember when they very first started to come out, the LEDs, and they would take a long time to warm up? So this room is actually still really dark, and that is going to take a few minutes to warm up. But clearly I'm not going to wait that long. I'm just going to pause the camera, take the bulb out, and then put the smart bulb in its place. So this is one of the old LEDs, the old-fashioned ones, the warming up ones, and just by comparison for size, you see it's not dissimilar really to this one, to the one with all the electronics in it. So let's now venture back into the dark and put the smart bulb in the light. And the next thing it says to do in the instructions is to switch it on. So let's do that. Okay. Now the good thing is, I'm going to see what you can see. I'm going to have a look around the camera. That has actually lit the room immediately, which is a good thing. Well, that's what I was expecting. A modern LED bulb, of course, will just light the room up, which is great. So that is now on. So let's go to the next part of the process. Right, so the next thing I need to do on the instructions is to plug in the hub into my router. So let's do that, which means for me putting it into my cabinet here. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to unravel the power lead. I'm just trying to think now. This is where I've got to do a bit of jiggery pokery, and I won't expect you to sit through all of this, but I've got to try and plug this into the back of the rack, into the power sources, then find somewhere to sit this inside the rack, and then plug this into my switch. So I'll do that, and then I'll show you in a minute when it's all hooked up how it all looks. Right then, I have rigged it up. So this little cable here into the switch is the one that actually finds its way to the Philips Hue hub. Now I've sat it at the moment on top of my AirPort Extreme. It's going to be interesting to see actually whether being inside this cabinet is going to let it work or not. But to be fair, there's decent wireless off this AirPort, although it's not my primary source of Wi-Fi before you have a fit over that being in here. I've spoken about that on this channel before, so I won't revisit it. But the hub here, let's just lift it down, has, there we go, there it is, has got 3 blue lights on the front of it. I've got absolutely no idea what they mean. It looks like the right hand one could be power, the middle one could be network, and the left hand one is, I don't know, is how well the flux capacitor is operating. I've got absolutely no idea. So there we go. So that's in there anyway. I followed the instructions. So what I will do is shut the door, and if it's going to be a problem being inside the cabinet, we'll soon find out. So let's shut that. That is in there and it's doing its stuff. Brilliant. So the next thing then, I suppose, is to fire up the Philips Hue app and see whether we can do things to the light. Right, here we are now. I've decided to fire up the Hue app on my iPad. I just thought that it would be easier to see on the big screen. I don't know if it is or not. But when I fire up the app, it tells me down here, if I can try and focus on it, there we go, it says one new Hue bridge found. And this button here, which you might not be able to see very well on the screen, says setup. So I'm going to tap on that. And it now says press the push link button on the Hue bridge you want to connect to. Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to open the door, and I'm going to push. I thought this felt like a button. I'm going to push, there we are, I've pushed that button on the top there. And it's saying here, Hue would like to access your home data. Using, so okay, so we'll say okay to that. And I've got to agree to some terms and conditions. So we'll do that now. It says an update is available for your Hue bridge. When installing, your system may become unresponsive for a short while. Keep the lights connected to the mains and the Hue bridge powered on. Okay, so let's update the software. And it says here, updating Hue bridge. Now I've got no idea how long this is going to take. So it seems to be moving along. Oh, hello, it was moving along and now it's jumped back to the beginning. So what I'll do, I'll leave that going, and when it comes back, you will be hearing from me again. So watch your space. I'm back. Probably only took 2 or 3 minutes maybe. So it says update successfully installed. Good job. So I've pressed done. At least I think I have. Done. And now nothing's happening. Let's not worry too much about that. Let's just wait. Nope, let's try done again. Done. Okay, it all seemed to be good, and now I'm not so sure. Nothing's happening. Done. And done. Okay, well at least it's installed, so I suppose that's something. Let's have a look over here and see what's on the hub. Now I don't know if you can see that. We have 3 blue lights at the top. The 2 on the left were flashing while it was updating. So it's not doing that now. So it does look as if it's finished. What I'm going to do actually, I don't really know whether I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to kill the app. Who knows whether that's going to prove to have been a good thing to do or not. And I'm going to fire it up again. And oh, it says update available. Okay, I have this feeling of deja vu. Let's press update. And now it's going to update the bridge again. Unless it has to do another update. It's not telling you version numbers. Philips, are you watching? It would help if you told us what version number you were going from and to, and then I'd know now whether it's just redoing whatever it did 2 minutes ago, or actually whether it's doing another update after the original update. Who knows?
let's see what the hub itself is doing. Oh yes, there we are. I don't know whether you can just see it because I've got it in a stupid angle, but it's flashing. Those two on the left there are flashing while it's updating. So, which it's now stopped doing. But it did that last time. It flashed for a bit and then it stopped and then it started flashing a bit more. But on here, it says updating. I've just got to hope, I suppose, that this time it will get a bit further. So I'll be back. Right, now we have 3 lights on the hub, which you can just see, and over here it says update successfully installed, good job again. I'm a bit worried about pressing this after what happened last time, but hey, in for a penny and all that. So done. Hey, it's actually done something this time. So okay, so now we've got, what does it say here? Click next when you want to continue. Okay, before you can use HomeKit in Siri, it says on the screen here, you need to pair your smart device to your Hue bridge. So then it's telling you all about how you can turn lights off and on and all this sort of stuff. But down here, it says it's searching for Hue bridge. God, my screen looks dirty, doesn't it? Look at that. Shocking. I've only had this iPad a week. So it still says type next when you want to continue, and it's got searching for Hue bridge down there. But it's only just over here, look. There it is. Look, there it is. It's there. Perhaps I need to do that. Oh, I see. At a little top here, we have a message. iCloud data sync is in progress. Please wait a few minutes and try again. Okay. So for some reason it's doing something. So I need to wait. Clearly, I need to read read. You must read your instructions. So okay. So it's talking about HomeKit. It's talking about Siri. So which is fine, because I mean, I suppose although I'm going to feel like a complete idiot talking to my lights, I have no friends, so perhaps I could make friends with my lights. That would be good. We could have great fun together. The long winter evenings will fly by. Okay. I don't think there's much I can show you here, viewers. It says searching for Hue bridge, but probably because it's got on here about iCloud data sync. So I think the best thing we can do is just wait until this decides it's going to speak to me again. And then I will start recording. So see you shortly. I actually ended up pressing the skip button and then I quit the app and went back in, and it's actually bypassed that altogether. So I think I can do the HomeKit thing in the HomeKit, in the Home app. So I'm not going to worry too much about that at this stage. I'm now going to try and add my single smart light bulb by pressing the plus button. To find new light, perhaps what we should do actually is pick this up here, and I shall walk through here and we will come into the dining room. Let's put the iPad there. As you can see, the light has been burning away to itself quite happily for a few minutes. So let's have a look. So it says here to find new lights, make sure the lights are powered on, and then tap search below. So that's what I will do. I will tap search. And it's thinking about it. Searching for lights, it says. Okay, so it thought about it for a couple of minutes and then it's come up and said no new lights found, which is not encouraging. So that's great, isn't it? Alright, I'm powered on. Perhaps this doesn't need to be near to that, because surely it needs to be near to the hub, because the hub is the one that's going to be talking to the light, presumably. So unless having that box inside the cabinet is causing a problem, perhaps what I need to do is to have it outside of the cabinet so that it can talk to the light. Yeah, okay. Bear with me, viewers. No, it's not that far away, is it? Surely it should be able to cope with being there. Perhaps what I should do, let's just lift this as far as I'm able, just kind of hang it outside on the outside-ish of the cabinet. Just see whether that that's interesting. It now says one new light found. hue ambience lamp, but I'm just wondering whether it had already done that before I pulled that out. What shall I do? I don't know what to do now. Let's plonk that back in there. Perhaps I shouldn't have it sitting on top of that Wi-Fi thing. Perhaps what I should do, in actual fact, is to put this on top of the switch. I could put it up here. Okay, just bear with me, viewers. I'm going to have a little fiddle around. Right, what I have done is to move the hub and put it up there on top of the switch. It's still inside the cabinet, so it'll be interesting to see what happens at this point. So it's found the hue ambience lamp, so I want to add that. What I'm going to do is go through again into the dining room, and so I'm going to tap it. Oh, hello. When I tapped on it then, it flicked. It did something. So let's just show you that. I'm now going to tap on it on my iPad. Whee! Okay. Great. So that's promising. So it's found it. New house by deleting that. Okay. So that's it. So now I'm going to go next. Tap the plus button to create your first room. Right, I'm going to do that. And give your first room a name. And I'm going to call it dining room, because that, viewers, is what it is. And then we've got room type. Dining. Cool. Okay, dining. Right, done. Save. Saving title. So dining room, hue light. There we go. So that's it there. Hue light. So how do I actually? Oh, next. There we go. So we go next. Your Hue app is up and running. Congratulations. Thank you. Let's go. Okay. So there's the dining room light, and there is the switch. So if I tap, oh, hang on. If I tap that, oh yeah, the light's gone off. I expect you saw it getting dark. There we are. And now if I tap the little switch here, I can't believe I'm getting excited about turning a light on and off. Let's turn it back on. There we go. It sort of fades in. That's quite cool. Now we've got, perhaps it's because it's, oh, here we are. This is the dimming. So I'm just swiping across here on the iPad, and you can see that the light is dimming. So that's quite cool. I like that. But how do you actually do the sort of white balance of it? So let's go back to here. If I actually tap on the light bulb, which I've just done, you then get the full gamut of colour. Now, of course, if this was one of the full colour lights, the RGB lights, this would be a full multi-colour look. But we've got whites here, and it's a sort of like a middling kind of white. So what I'll do, I'll move it towards the sort of yellow or the warm light. I'll move it down towards the cold, and then we'll see what that looks like. So I'm actually doing this on the iPad, and if I move it up towards that, you can see it's, yeah, that's gone a quite a yellow colour actually, yeah, which you'd expect, that's what I'm looking at. I'm now going to drag it down, and that's going to the cold, yeah, that's gone cold. So I'm going to sort of put it kind of in the middle, back sort of where it was, perhaps more in the sort of in the middle. There we go. That's quite cool. So now we go on here. Let's go to recipes, and you've got different things. You've got relax. It's on relax at the moment, and that has dimmed the light somewhat. I'll show you it now. If I tap on the next one down, that is reading light. That's quite nice. And then we go here to concentrate. Yeah, concentrate. And then we've got energize. Beam me up, Scotty. That's interesting. So that was back to relax. Read, which is quite a sort of a light speed up. Okay. And I imagine that's then where it's gone. It's gone to there. So done. Okay, that's quite cool. I like that. And then we've got, oh, there are, those were the scenes. Those were the scenes. Tropical twilight, bright, dimmed. Okay, so we've got different sort of things on here. Nightlight. Yeah, it's gone really dim now. Cool. Now you see, look, I'm like a kid with a new toy now, aren't I? So, yeah. Okay, that's quite cool. Let's go back to lights, and we will fade it back up to 100%. Yeah, that's nice. Look at that. So the next thing I need to do on here is, let's go back home. So I've got the dining room on there, that's all set up, and obviously I'll do the same on my phone, and I think there's a watch app as well, so I'll be able to control it from my watch, which is quite nice. It looks a bit too yellowy for me, so I'm going to go back down to sort of, there we go, that's nice and bright. Yeah, liking that. Okay, so what I want to do next is set it up with HomeKit, and then I should be able to talk to my lights, because I have no friends. Now, out of interest, viewers, I thought I'd set it up also on my iPhone, and it went through exactly the same process. So I fired up the Hue app, and then it said press the little button on the hub, which I did, and that's all I had to do. And now it's come up with my dining room that I've just set up, and there it is, it's there. So focus, there we go. So I didn't actually have to do anything. It obviously pulled the information down from the hub and is all set up on my other iOS device, so that's quite handy. You could obviously set it up really easily on any devices that you've got, so that's brilliant. So anyway, as I was saying, HomeKit. Right, so here we are then. I'm going to set it up on my iPhone so that I can use Siri, and I'm going to go add accessory. So what I need to do now, which I'm going to do slightly off camera, is I'm going to scan the code from the hub, and it knows that it's a Philips Hue. So that I've now added that room dining room. Okay, and then I'm going to go next, and it knows it's a Hue ambience lamp. Brilliant. So I'm going to go done. So dining room Hue. Oh, and it knows then if I tap on that. Oh, hello. That should have turned the light off now then. So I've done that from within HomeKit. Oh yeah, it has. It's turned off. So does that mean then that I need to do anything else? Will it just work now? If I say, hey Siri, turn on the dining room light.
Sorry, Andy, I wasn't able to find anything like that in the dining room in your home this time.
Oh, okay. Right, so open the Home app. Default room. Ah, it's called default room. Maybe that's why. Oh, I see. Right, sorry viewers. Now I've just been disappeared because I found out now. So this here item here is the bridge, and this here it says the dining room light. But for some reason Siri doesn't want to turn that on. It doesn't understand it. So I've turned it on there. I don't know how you. Let's do automation. No, I don't want to do automation. So I don't actually know how to do this. It says dining room. Let's have another go. Hey Siri, turn the dining room lights off.
Okay.
Yay! Yeah, I feel like an idiot now. Let's, okay, I'm right, I'm playing now. Right, hey Siri. Hey Siri, turn the dining room lights on.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't quite know how I feel about that. Hey Siri, dim the dining room lights.
Okay, I've set the Hue ambience lamp to 75%.
Can you dim it a bit more, please? Hey Siri, can you dim it some more?
I'm not sure what you mean by that in HomeKit. Can you try that another way?
Hey Siri, can you dim the dining room lights?
Okay, I've set the Hue ambience lamp to 50%.
Hey Siri, can you make the dining room lights a little more yellow?
Sorry, that feature is not supported by your lights.
Yeah, bloody well is. I don't know whether you can actually change the ambience, but let's try it. Hey Siri, brighten the lights to 100%. Hey Siri, brighten the lights to 100%.
Okay, I've set the Hue ambience lamp to 100%.
She sounds so smarmy. But there are, that's now working with HomeKit, so that's quite good. Hey Siri. Hey Siri, turn the lights off in the dining room.
Done.
Yeah, Okay, that's quite cool, isn't it? Right, what I'm going to do now is I've installed the Hue app on my Apple Watch, and I'm just going to, oh, hello, just 1 minute, view, type in the code. Right, so let's go now and start up the Hue app on my Apple Watch and actually see what this does. It says loading. Right, after it had finished loading, it came up on the screen on the Apple Watch here to say that I needed to set up a widget inside the Hue app on my iOS device. So that's what I did. You effectively select the location and the bulb or bulbs that you want to control, and then you give it a name. I need to look at it in more detail to see whether you've got to select up, say, dining room on, dining room off, ambience 50%, well, whatever it may be. But I've set up one at random. I'm not quite sure what it's going to do. But if I tap dining room, yeah, the light has come on. Hurrah! And if I now tap dining room again, presumably, oh, well, dining room, it says off. Oh no, it doesn't. Hang on. Oh, perhaps I've got to tap it again. Right, off. Okay, it's a bit weird. It's come on. Oh, it's come on, but it won't go off again. It's perhaps, I need to look into this some more, but what I would suspect is going on is that you need to have different widgets maybe for on and off, I don't know. But it turned it on. I don't think it's gonna, it's not doing an awful lot. Yeah, because it says off when I've tapped it, but yeah, it clearly isn't, as you can see. And then after a few seconds, it goes back to tell you that, no, actually it is on. So I need to look at that some more and see whether there's actually, the Apple Watch app is just a bit rubbish, or whether I need to do some more setting up because I've only really looked very quickly at it. Right, so this has been a slightly rambling video for which I apologise, but we've managed to set up the Philips Hue bridge. You can see it there in the cabinet, and it's obviously working fine up there on top of the switch and inside the cabinet with the door shut, so that's quite good. It is of course not that far to the dining room, just out here around the corner. How it would cope when I want to put it into other rooms is yet to be seen. I'll give you an idea of what I actually want to do as well. Is down here, if I come to the kitchen, and I'll just show you up here, there's quite a lot of light. There's up there, where are we looking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we are. There's 6 lights in that section. But the part I'm interested in is here. This is a vaulted ceiling, as you can see, and there are 8 lights, he said, just double checking. How often do you look up and count your lights? There are 8 lights in this vaulted ceiling, and I quite would like these ones to be the Philips Hue controlled smart lights, so that I can get the ambient light. I'm not interested in colour, but the ambient of the white would be quite nice to be able to alter. And what I tend to do sort of in the evenings, if I just sort of show, if I turn those lights off, and then what I tend to do is turn these underlights on. I made a bit of a mistake because I only recently had the underlights converted to LEDs, and if I'd been thinking about the smart home, I probably would have used the Philips strip LEDs, and there's no way I'm going to replace them having only just had them put in. But that would have been quite nice under there. But instead, what I could do is to have these, and these perhaps changing colour depending on what you're doing, would be, not colour, change the ambience, the white, but would be quite nice, I think. So I definitely want to do that. But they are MR11s at the moment. They are with a transformer attached, which makes them more complicated. I want to make them GU10, so they are mains driven at 240 volts, and then I can get the GU10 bulbs from the Philips line. These ones here, these are already GU10, so I could replace these ones in the hall, but there's 3 there, there's 3 up there, and there are 3 down there. So if I'm going to replace 9 with GU10s, it's going to be very expensive to do. So I'd rather sort of perhaps just do the 8 down here. Yeah, okay, it's only 1 less, but at least I'm kind of focusing my efforts. The other thing I could do is to use the IKEA lights, but that won't work with HomeKit, but it will work with the Philips app apparently. But that's okay because I haven't got any other home automation at the moment. So HomeKit, although it's quite nice to be able to talk to your lights and tell them to go on, I really haven't got a problem doing it with the Philips app. I need to think about it some more. But this was really just an experiment in home automation, in a smart home. My first time I've done it. I also wanted to get a brighter bulb, and one that came on instantly in the dining room, which I've done, and I voice activated as well, and I can change the colour, so it's all good. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I apologise for my usual, if you've watched this channel before, you'll know I do rambling videos, oh my goodness. So yeah, if you want well organised scripted tech, you need to look elsewhere. So, but thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.